In today's video, we're going to be creating the table of content slide for our job agency template in PowerPoint. We're going to create this slide and we're also going to create the About Us slides. Anyway, let's get started. We're going to start with a blank slide. If you want to watch the video on how to create the title slide, you can go ahead and click on the video on screen right now or check out the link in the description box below. Let's create a new blank slide, and now we're going to insert some shapes, specifically rectangles, and I'm just going to click. I'm going to change the fill to dark blue, and this is the color here. That is this one 00153E, or just check out the description box below for it. I'm going to remove the outline and select no outline. I'm going to change the height to 6.35, and the width is going to be 6.35. I'm going to hold shift down and rotate this rectangle like this. Let me right click, format shape, and you can actually change the rotation like this. So it's currently 315 degrees. So under shape options, you can just go to the size and properties, and maybe you could enter the rotation manually, but I just rotated it using this handle on top. I'm going to just create one copy, have that here, and next I'm going to create another copy of this one and then just place it here. So it may be a little bit difficult for me to align, but let me see just a little bit. I'm trying my best to align this two. All right, so this looks better, I guess. I'm now going to select this two, move it out of the frame. So we just want to add little detail so as our slide won't just be blank with text, and I'm going to have that here. I'm going to bring this one here, select this rectangle, shape format, change the height to 1.4 by 1.4, and I'll have this handle to be able to move this one around. So I'm just going to sort of place it. Let me see here. Let's insert an image next. So go over to the insert tab, select pictures, stock images, give this a moment. I'm going to search for tablets as our keyword, and I'm just going to scroll till I find the image I want to use, which is, let me see, I may have to stop recording. This is the keyword you're going to use to get the image, or if I have difficulty finding it, I'll just stop recording and then come back, which I think that's what I'm just going to do. All right, this is the image I want. It seems like I actually scrolled past it. Anyway, this is the image I want. I'm going to select that one and then insert, and then give this a moment to download into our presentation. Now that we have our image, I'm just going to move it so it overlaps the square on top. So I'm just going to reduce it, maybe make it a little larger like this. And what I'm going to do now, go over, I'm currently in picture format tab, but even if you're at the home tab, you can find this option selection pane. So I'm going to find the rectangle that is directly behind it. That's rectangle 1. So select the image first and then rectangle 1. And I'm looking at the outline. I like how things sit. I'm going to leave it like that. Go over to shape format, and under merge shapes, we're going to intersect. Let's trim these rectangles. So I'm going to come over to shapes, insert a rectangle, have one here, and I'm going to create a copy holding control so that I'll be able to trim on this side. I'm going to need one more for this other one. So select the image, this rectangle, shape format, go to the merge options, subtract. While the image is still selected, select this rectangle, shape formats, the merge options, and then we're going to subtract also. I'm going to extend this, select this rectangle and this one, merge options, subtract, and we'll have this. Let's insert the title of our slide next before we come back to this. I'm going to go to insert text box, go over to my text. This is table of contents, copy and paste. Select the entire text box. Change the font to Montserrat, size 44. I'm going to change the alignment of the text to center. I'm just going to move it sort of around here. If we have to move it later on, we will, but for now our focus should be aligning it to the center of the slide. Let's see, like this. I'm just going to grab a copy of this text box even instead of having to create another one. So control, and I'm going to create another one of this text box. This one we're going to change the size to 22. We're going to leave the alignment of the text to center, but what I'll do, it's going to be able to see the contents for a moment. I'm going to change the color to white, and I'm going to reduce the width, and this text I'm going to change to 01. Let me reduce it a bit more because we're going to reuse this. So if it's sticking out from the rectangle, that's not a problem. We're going to use it for other numbers, so other numbers may take a bit more space. But anyway, instead of trying to figure it out, I'll just select both of them, and under this arrange option, go to arrange, align, align center, arrange, align, and then align middle, and Control G to group, so you have this as one object. And I'm going to maybe just move it a little bit. Once again, I'll create a copy of this text box instead of needing to create another one. Create another one, bring it here, align it to the top of that this rectangle or square, as it were. I'm going to change the size of this to 22. So change the alignment of text to left. I'm going to reduce the width of this text box to be somewhere, let's see here. It's no worries if it's a bit long. We're going to add the second line of content around here, so we're just going to leave it as it is. Now I'm going to select both of them and then group. Now we're going to reuse this to create the other content. So what I can do now is create 1 to 5 on one line and 5 on the second line of our content. So I'm just going to not worry about the spacing for now. We'll do that in just a moment. Okay, so now that I have my 5 contents, I can select all of them. Once again, go to the arrange option, align, and this time distribute vertically. And now the spacing will be equal. Hold Control and Shift, and now we can create another set. We can align this one to the center, maybe, or I was trying to see if I can have the same spacing, but this is currently at the center. We could just leave it here. If you feel like we want to move it later, we can, but for now, this is fine. So now let's add in the content for all of these other sections. I'm going to come over here. The first item is about us, and I'm just going to paste the text. That's it. This one, we're going to change this to number 2. Grab the text, services we offer, copy, paste. Let's go to the next one. Why choose CareerConnect, which is our imaginary business that doesn't exist. I haven't changed the number. This one is in 2 lines. Still, leave it like that. We just want it to be aligned to the top of this square or rectangle. Industries we serve, that's number 4. I'm going to change this to 4, paste, go to the next one, candidate journey. I'm going to paste, then change the contents, the number. This one is going to be 6. I'm going to grab the contents for number 6. I'm going to paste. Let's grab the contents for number 7, success stories. Copy. So this is 7. And I'm going to select everything, paste. Let's come over to number 8, change it to 8. Grab the content for the 8th item, and I'm going to paste. Let's work on number 9. So we have only 9 items, so we're going to delete the last one. I'm going to paste and then select this one, delete. And that is it essentially for our table of contents slide. Let's now move on to create our about us slide, which is this first item. So I'm going to create a new blank slide, and I'm going to start with an let's start with a shape. I'm going to, while I'm in the home tab, you can also use the insert tab. Go over to shapes, and I'm going to use, let me see, this shape. Under flowchart, we're going to use this one, and I'm just going to click enter. I'm going to hold shift and rotate it to this direction, and then under rotate I'm going to flip vertical. Now just bring it to the top right corner or top left corner, sorry. Just extend it to the entire height of our slide, and I'm just to change the height to 14. The reason why it's height not width is that we've rotated it, so the direction is different. I'm going to create a copy of this and just have this at the side. The one on the right, this one now is on top. I'm going to change the fill to that blue color, and we're also going to remove the outline. I'm going to right click on the image, this rectangle, format shape. I'm going to change the transparency to 30%. Let's bring our focus back to this one. We're going to need an image for this. So I'm just going to go over to insert pictures, stock images, and I'll give this a moment. I'm going to search for workers, and I'm going to scroll down till I find the image I want, which is this one. Going to select it and then insert. Going to give this image a moment to download into our presentation. So we have our image. What I'm going to do is just bring this over here for now. I'm going to go back to my selection pane. I'm currently selecting the image, and I think, okay, it's going to be flowchart input 1. So select the image first, and then the flowchart that is behind it. And now I can see the outline of the shape behind it. I think I'll prefer if I move it a little bit to the right. So I'm just going to move this. Let's see if I'll like this. I'm still going to move it a bit, so I'll just keep the focus. We can't have everybody in frame, so I'm just going to move it once again. Let me see. Let's see how this will look like. So I'm looking at the outline of the shape behind it and then comparing it to what we have in our image, because eventually that's what we're going to have left. So I'm just going to do this. So select the image first, and then the flowchart behind the image. Go over to shape format, go under the merge options, and we're going to select intersect. And I'm just going to click on OK. Next up, I'm going to grab this and bring it. It's currently behind on our selection. No worries. I'm just going to grab it and bring it to the top of the image, and we're going to have this effect. Next is going to be a text box. So go over to insert and select text box. Let me go to my notes. I'm going to copy the title for this slide and paste. Select the entire text box. Change the font to Montserrat. Size is 44. And I'm going to change the alignment of the text to center. I'm going to bring it, let's say, around here, just sort of the center, will I say, where it's saying equal spacing between the center, between this edge and this one. Let's grab a copy of this. I'm going to hold Control, select this text box, and then bring it here. So I'm just going to bring it, let's see here. I'm going to change the font to Aptos, this Aptos body, and I'm going to change the size to 24. Change the alignment of text back to left. Let's grab the contents for this section, and I'm going to copy, paste my text. I'm just going to extend it. Before I finish up, I'm going to just, while I have this entire text box selected, I'll go and make it a bullet point. So we have 4 items. I'm just going to increase them. I want all of them to be on 2 lines each. So what I'm going to do is move this here and sort of like this. Maybe I'll just reduce it. So I wanted this, I felt like this word was just hanging, but anyway, I wanted it on 2 lines, but it seems like that won't be possible for this one in particular. Anyway, let's just leave it like that. So currently what I have is these 2 aligned at the center here, and you know what, that looks fine to me. We can now, let me see if I could move it, how the spacing will look like. Sometimes it is like that, you just kind of move things around till it feels right. All right, that is what the About Us section looks like. So let's go back to slide number 2, and now we can apply our animations and then transitions for our slides. Before I do that, I just feel like there is more space here than it is here. I'll just select these items. I'm holding shift to try and keep them as aligned as possible, so we can have equal spacing here and here. If you already did that, that would be cool. All right, let's now do the animations. Go to the animations tab and select the object you want to animate. I'm going to select this first option, and I'm going to use float in. We're going to go over to start, and we're going to make it with previous. Select number 2, and we are going to select the entire group. Float in also. The start, however, is going to be after previous. Now I'm going to select this object again, and we're going to have this animation painter option. Double click on it. Now select number 3, number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So they will come in one after the other from 1 to 9. I'm going to click on escape so we can close the animation painter. I'm going to come to this one. We're only going to apply the animation to this text box. So it's going to be floating also. And we're going to select start is going to be with previous, but so that it will start as soon as we get to the tab. Under effect, select this, and this is going to be by paragraph, so that each one of the items is going to come in one by one. So we're going to have similar effects to what we have had with this one. Anyway, let's go back to slide number 2. I'm going to also select slide number 3. Go to transitions, and we are going to use fade. Once again, we're using 2 seconds for the duration. Let's go to slide 2 and look at our slides in the slideshow view to see what they look like. So I'm going to come over here, start the presentation, and we'll have each one of our content options or content page coming one after the other from 1 to 9. I'm going to move on to the next one, and we're going to have our text. Seems like I've messed up the timing. No worries, it happens like that. So let me see. I'm going to go back to animations and see what the issue is. So these numbers represent the animation for each text. So they are all still set to on click. So this will be after previous, after previous, after previous. Let me go back to this one, start the slideshow once again, and we'll have this option. The option by paragraph only applies to text. So these are actually groups. So if you have a long block of text, instead of applying it one by one, you can just use the options, but just make sure you, of course, set it. All right, that is it for the table of content and the about us slides. If you want to watch the entire course playlist on how to create the entire template, you can either click on the playlist on screen right now or check out the description box below for the links to the course playlist or the individual videos. That's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.